Hello and welcome to another episode of Toya Talks Wrestling, and today we're going to talk about two things that happened on Raw last night that were pretty awesome. The rest of which was the beginning and the end of the show. The middle of the show sucked. It was terrible. It wasn't terrible, but wasn't as good as the beginning and end. So we're just going to have the bread and we're going to leave the inner of the sandwich alone. But let's talk about what happened at the beginning of Raw. So we have the Vision, Braun Breaker. Well, before I do that, I have to give you a backstory. So let me take you back to Saudi Arabia on SmackDown, which came on like 11 o'clock in the morning. If you watched it live on Netflix, it has like a VPN or whatever, and you watched it live, it was 11 a.m. for me, but probably 2 o'clock for the East Coast. Anyways, they had the show, and they had a graphic that said Braun Breaker is #1 on the Royal Rumble, which apparently they weren't supposed to show us that time because it was supposed to be at the Rumble the next day on Saturday, but they showed it. Someone probably got in trouble because I think someone even told me that they watched it like when they came live here in America, because it came on like 8 o'clock, and they didn't have that. The graphic. They edited it out. So keep that in mind. So then on the Rumble, they had a thing where Adam Pearce is in the audience. I guess he's enjoying the show with the rest of the fans. And then you had Paul Heyman. I think maybe Braun Breaker was with him. I'm not even sure. But Paul Heyman is arguing with Adam Pearce, talking about #2. You got him picking #2 and everything else. Well, couldn't pick #1. He had to pick #2. Which #1, #2, pretty much the same, right? They start off the same way. So it's like, it doesn't matter, right? Although I do wonder like how being #1 was going to be an effect of what's going to happen or what had happened at Royal Rumble. I'll get there. But anyway, they were arguing and everything else like that. He picked #2 and everything else like that. So later on, you had the Men's Royal Rumble, which was at the end of the night. You had #1 with Obafemi. He comes out. So he comes out, and then you have #2, which was Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker comes out, and as soon as he gets to right before he gets into the ring, he gets attacked by, yes, a man in a black hoodie and a mask and all black and everything else and all the other stuff. And he gets super kicked and he gets curb stomped. And he throws, and the masked man throws Braun Breaker into the ring, and Obafemi just throws him out the ring. It was probably like the fastest elimination in like elimination fucking Royal Rumble history or something like that. Like, thank you for coming, Braun Breaker. The man, people thought he was going to win the Rumble, wasn't even in the Rumble more than freaking like less than 10 seconds, okay? That's how quick it was, and it was terrible. So let's fast forward to last night on Raw. We started off Raw with Braun Breaker, and Braun Breaker is pissed off. He is just throwing shit, and he's just tearing up everything, and he goes to the announcer's desk and he gets into Michael Cole's face, and I'm like, why is it always Michael Cole? Like, poor Michael Cole, man. Every fucking time one of these heel freaking wrestlers gets mad, it's always Michael Cole. Michael Cole always gets the heat. But yeah, he's going after Michael Cole. He said something to Corey Graves. He's like, you got a problem and everything else? So like, Michael Cole like, no, I don't want none. I've been here before with Gunther and other fucking wrestlers. I'm good. I ain't saying anything. He goes in there and he flips the freaking announcer desk over and everything else. He's just mad as hell, right? And he's like, give me a mic. Michael goes, give him a mic. Hurry up. Like, he goes in, he gets into the ring, and he's about to say something. Here comes the rest of the Vision. You got Logan Paul, Austin Theory, and Bronson Reed. And Paul Heyman. No music. They're just coming in. into the ring, trying to like calm him down and everything else like that. And Braun Breaker's like, he's calling out freaking Adam Pearce and everything else like that, and all this other stuff. And Paul Heyman's basically, he said, this is Adam Pearce's fault. He had Braun Breaker at number 2 and all this other stuff. And he's like, and he knows who the masked man was, because he had to, approve all the visas to go over to Saudi Arabia in the first place. So he knows who it was and who it is. So don't tell me he don't know who it is. He should know, because he did the approval of everybody on the Raw roster, right? Whatever. And so then Braun Breaker, he grabbed the microphone again from Paul Heyman. He's like, Adam Pearce, if you don't get out here, and like, I'm gonna count to 3, and if you don't get out here soon, I'm gonna tear everything up, blah 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 blah. And he starts counting 1 really slow, 2, and I'm thinking to myself, I bet you can't even count to 3. And then, well, we don't know, because Adam Pearce comes out, and Adam Pearce is like, why are you getting upset and everything else? You're the one who pulled number 2. It's a random. You pulled that number 2. I'm like, well, technically he pulled number 1, but whatever. You pulled number 2. That was on you and everything else like that. He goes, as far as the masked man goes, I have no idea who that is. It could be anyone. So the last time there was a masked man, it was Austin Theory. So Braun Breaker goes over, and he looks at Austin Theory. And Bronson Reed was shaking his head, goes, it wasn't him, dude. It wasn't him. Like, no, it's not him. Like, I have to say, like, no, he's been with me, like, the entire freaking night. Like, whatever. It's not him. I will tell you what. But we're supposed to think it's Seth Rollins, right? Because there's a curb stomp and everything else like that. It could very well be Seth Rollins, or revealed to be Seth Rollins. I don't think it was actually Seth Rollins. I think it was just someone who was playing Seth Rollins. But the beard, they had a blonde beard. So I'm just like, well, whoever it is has a blonde beard. I'm like, does Logan Paul have a fucking beard? And someone said it might be Jake Paul. And I'm like, why would Jake Paul be in WWE and stomping fucking Braun Breaker? For what reason? I mean, I actually like Jake Paul more than I like Logan Paul, but still, that's still weird. I don't know. Well, who it is, we'll probably find out. I'm pretty sure we'll find out before WrestleMania. You know what I'm saying? It might be Seth Rollins. It might be revealed to be Seth Rollins, and we'll have a match between Seth and Braun Breaker at WrestleMania, hopefully. But anyways, so they talked about that, so and everything else like that. So then Adam Pearce was like, I'm gonna tell you what, Braun Breaker, I'm gonna do you a favor. I'm gonna let you keep your job after that poor performance at Royal Rumble on Saturday. And this pissed off Braun Breaker so much that Braun Breaker was going after, and he was about to charge Adam Pearce. By the way, may I add that they were like a security guard blocking Adam Pearce and protecting Adam Pearce, but then Bronson Reed comes after Braun Breaker, and he pretty much stops him, say, hey, calm down, relax, and all this other stuff, right? So then you hear LA Knight's music, which, by the way, LA Knight showed up at the Rumble and pretty much eliminated both Austin Theory and Bronson Reed. Yeah. And so he eliminated both of them and everything else like that. So he comes back on Rumble, and then he makes his return on Raw, and he comes, and you think he's coming from the Gorilla Decision, but instead he comes from the audience, and he pretty much slams Logan Paul and Austin Theory with chairs. Here comes Bronson Reed to go attack him, and after that, LA Knight's gone. He leaves, right? He leaves the crowd and everything else like that. You have Braun Breaker in the on the rap with Paul Heyman. He's just like, what are we doing here? What are we doing? Like, what's going on? Like, what's happening, right? He's just confused. He don't know what to do. He's angry and all that other stuff. He goes up the ramp, right? So later on in the show, Paul Heyman goes to Adam Pearce, and he's like, hey, you're gonna make a match between Braun Breaker versus LA Knight tonight. And Adam Pearce is like, no, I can't do that, sorry. And why not? Paul Heyman asked, and he's like, because I told LA Knight to leave the building because he interrupted my show. You can't interrupt my show. You know what I'm saying? He's like, if I were you, I would tell Braun Breaker to do the same thing. Just leave. You can't interrupt the show. You can't. If you're gonna interrupt the show, you can't play. You can't play here if you're gonna be like a brat, whatever. So then basically Paul Heyman and Braun Breaker had a talk and everything else, where Braun Breaker just ends up leaving. And we didn't see Braun Breaker for the rest of the night. And then also Penta and Bronson Reed had a match where Penta wins by count out. I don't remember what happened, but that was good. But the beginning part of that show was great. I was like, man, that's how you need to open up the shows from now on. Well, not all the time, but I like that. I like it was something different and everything else. We didn't freaking get like the whole like, oh, guess who showed up to work today? So I really, really enjoyed that. So then the last part, before I even get there, let me just tell you that Brie Bella, yes, that Brie Bella, made her appearance, her debut appearance. Well, not her debut, but she came back at Royal Rumble. Let me tell you, she got the biggest pop in Saudi at the Royal Rumble. This is where we are in 2026. Okay, when Brie Bella is getting the biggest pop at the Royal Rumble. Okay, anyways, her and Nikki Bella, they came out, and it's the most cringiest freaking promo I've ever fucking heard in my life. Like, I get it, it's been a while since Brie did a promo and everything else like that, but wow. Anyways, they talked about how they're their original tag team and they just want to go after the belts, and I'm just like, oh my god, don't do this to Rhea and Io. I'm like, look, we already know. I have no doubt in my freaking mind that the Bellas are going to be the tag team champions for the women's, obviously. Because they're twins. You don't want twins to be fucking tag teams. We already got twins and the Usos and they're tag team champions. So, put the titles on the other twins and make them champions. And yeah, it's going to be great. Look, I'm pretty sure we're probably going to have this match at Mania or whatever, right? Cool. Do this. Take the titles off of Io and Rhea, because I do not want fucking Io and Rhea to lose to the Bellas. They are way too more important than that. Look, they have a match with Kiana James and Julia. Drop the titles off of them. Julia and fucking Kiana James can go to WrestleMania, because I don't even think they're ever gonna be in the PLE unless, whatever. So they can go to WrestleMania, drop the titles off to the Bella Twins, and then the Bella Twins can drop the title off against Lash Legend and Nia Jax. Lash Legend should just keep the titles forever, in my opinion, because Lash Legend did something at Royal Rumble. She did God's work, when she eliminated both Nikki and Brie at the same time. So I think she should just get the title. I think she should have the win for the Rumble. Personally, I'm giving the win to Lash Legend because she did God's work. But anyways, I digress. Let's get to the main part of the show, which was amazing. I'm probably gonna fuck everything up on this part, so forgive me. But we had Roman Reigns come out. Now Roman Reigns won the men's Royal Rumble, and so he comes out and they were in Philly, by the way. He comes out and he's talking to Philly, and he's talking about how he had highs and lows in Philly. He said he won his first championship here. He also lost his last championship here. He won the Rumble here. And when he's winning, they're like clapping and everything else like that. And he's like, yeah, last time I won the Rumble here, that was not the reaction y'all gave me, but okay. Which, he won the Rumble. And he got, what did he get? He got booed for like 8 minutes. And they even booed The Rock. And like, it was hard to boo The Rock back then. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be that's some special kind of hate there. And they booed the shit out of him. And everything else like that. And he's like, I have a decision to make and all this other stuff. And he says, what better place to help me make it than the people in Philly. So he asked, should I go with Drew? And the crowd booed. Actually, the crowd was like shouting to CM Punk as he was talking about making a decision. So he said, you don't want me to go after Drew? And they're like, boo, no, boo, whatever. And they CM Punk, and they cheered. Drew booed, Punk cheered, and everything else like that. And so then CM Punk comes out. They're singing this song, Cult of Personality and everything else. He's taking it in, all the other stuff, and he goes and he grabs the mic and he looks at Roman, and then he goes straight for the camera and he starts talking to Finn Balor, talking about, you want to know how of a bad guy I am, wait till I get my hands on you and everything else like that. Because, last Monday Finn Balor attacked CM Punk after or during the match between AJ and him. Anyways, so CM Punk's doing all this stuff like that, and he goes in there, and then Roman Reigns is like, you interrupted me just to talk to Finn Balor, like, what's wrong with you and everything else like that. And CM Punk is like, I interrupted you? That's funny, considering that you're a visitor on my show. This is Raw. This is Netflix. I'm the champion. You're on my show. It's like and everything else. And all this other stuff goes, but I see you have a decision to make. I'm not going to go verbatim with what they said because they said a lot here, but basically Punk is like, you have a decision to make. You can make the easy decision, go after Drew McIntyre, or you can, go after the best in the world and everything else like that. Because, I already beat Drew McIntyre and all this other stuff. And then Roman Reigns is like, well, I've been beating Drew McIntyre for 3 years straight. And I'm just thinking, like, damn, man, like, McIntyre just getting, like, getting all kinds of, like, this shit on him right now. He's like, he ain't even there to defend himself. It's like, yeah, fuck that guy and everything else like that. And Roman Reigns is like, you talk about Drew, but didn't Drew make you go crazy over a plastic bracelet? And then it's like, he had the bracelets on and everything. He goes, yeah, that one right there. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure that bracelet was destroyed and been eaten up. But I'll go, maybe he spit it out and put it back together again. Ha ha. Wink, wink. Anyways, they start talking and everything else like that. And he's like, well, you need to make a decision and stuff like that. And, Roman Reigns is telling Punk that Punk followed his shoes. And Punk is like, I followed in your shoes. He's like, no. He said, when I was champion for 400 and something days, and who I had with me was Paul Heyman and everything else like that. And when you were champion what, for 1,300 plus days and everything else? And who did you have by you? Oh, Paul Heyman, that sounds familiar? I didn't follow in your shoes, you followed in my shoes, and congratulations, I'm very proud of you and everything else like that. You learned from the best. But just because you were a champion longer doesn't mean you were a champion better or whatever like that. And I think he starts talking about, like, his cousins and everything else like that, to where, Roman Reigns like, don't talk about my family, because if it wasn't for my family, you wouldn't even have a company to come back to, because we held it down by, during that time, like, I guess like the COVID time, whatever, blah blah blah. And then Punk was like, well, you didn't really hold it down, you kept it hostage. And then like Roman was like, who do you think they came to when you wanted to come back to the company? Like, they the one that gave me, they asked me, they asked me if it was okay for you to come back. You wouldn't have been here if it wasn't for me, and everything else like that, and all this other stuff. And he's like, I didn't follow in your footsteps. The only thing that I know about you is that whatever you did is what not to do. Like, what I've learned from you was what not to do and everything else like that. Basically, I'm fucking this whole fucking promo up, I'm sure. But basically, it ended up where, like, Roman Reigns is like, yeah, I could pick you because you're the best. You claim to be the best in the world and you're on top and everything else like that. I could pick you because you're on, like, Raw and you're on Netflix and stuff like that. But the reason why I'm picking you is because I hate you. I just hate you. I've always hated you. and everything else like that. And that's why I'm picking you. And then when I beat you, it's gonna be glorious and blah 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 and everything else. So I thought that maybe like we would have been waiting to like after Elimination Chamber or some shit like that, but no, we're getting Punk versus Roman at WrestleMania, probably at night 2, which is another freaking main event WrestleMania for Roman Reigns. You know, like the groundhog. See, his shadow. He saw Roman Reigns' shadow and said, "Yeah, give him another main event WrestleMania." That's what he did. Okay, you stupid groundhog. But I think it's gonna be great. I think it's gonna be good. There was a mention of Punk bringing in the Shield and everything else. I mean, the promo was amazing. It was a great ass promo, and I'm just fucking everything up. But it was an amazing ass promo. I think it was probably one of the best promos that Roman Reigns ever had, because I mean, it's a far, far greater promo than some suffering succotash. So, you remember those days? Wow, those take me back. But yeah, what an amazing promo. And then when Punk has a guy who can go back and forth with him, I don't think Punk went full force and everything else like that. But you know, Punk, you know, he pretty much put it in and everything else like that. I think Punk could have went harder and stuff like that, but it was great and all stuff like that. Now we can just keep this up, but I don't need to see this every freaking Saturday, especially since like Punk is probably gonna have a little mini feud with Finn Balor before WrestleMania, maybe like and stuff like that. So maybe we can get a little something here and there between Roman Reigns and Punk. Not like every not every Monday, but you know, every once in a while before main event, not before main event. I mean before Mania. So just to keep it flowing and everything else like that. So, but yeah, just want to talk about that. That was it. That was the only 2 cool things that happened on Raw last night. Anyways, that is all. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you guys in my next video. Okay, bye.